Welcome everyone to our community-hosted event, The Road Ahead. We've got an exciting session with 4 different sections today. We'll start off with talking about Go Anywhere with Senior Product Marketing Manager Jamie, and then we'll move on to video coaching with our Senior Product Marketing Manager Kate, and we'll bring back Jamie for some Q&A because we can't get enough of Jamie here. And then following that, we'll get some updates on Geotab Ace with lead product manager Sajad. That'll be an exciting session. That'll be a really good one. And then finally, we'll finish up with Geotab Vitality with head of channel enablement, Mike Owens. And I did want to make a quick announcement. I don't know if you guys have seen Geotab Signals, but we recently launched this, right after Connect. We launched this, and it's basically a website where you can go and see just what Geotab has come out with over the last 6 months. It's all of our, just a collection of all of our, products we've come out with over the last 6 months, and it'll be updated biannually. So the next one will be later towards the end of the summer. And so you can go there and see, everything that Geotab's come out with. You can schedule demos there, talk to sales there. So definitely go ahead and check that out. There's a link in the chat if you want to go see the website. It's a pretty cool website, actually. I was just looking at it earlier, and it's pretty cool. So go check that out. So during our session today, we're going to have 4 sections, and we're going to stop after each one to do a brief Q&A. We're not going to be able to get to all the questions that get asked today, but we will follow up with answers to all those questions. So we'll have a follow-up email that'll have a link to a post in the community. We'll answer all those questions. We'll try to get through as many as we can today. But don't worry, we will make sure every question does get answered. So ask away. At any point during the presentation, ask your questions. Even if you think of a question later that was for the first section, go ahead, throw it in there. We want to answer all these questions. We want to make sure that we provide as much as we can to all of you. And just for everybody, this is recorded. So no worries if you have to leave halfway through, or you have coworkers that can't attend, or you think, oh, this would be great for somebody else to see. You'll get a link to the recording. It'll be live in the community early next week. So you can go back and watch it again. You can share it with anybody that you think really could benefit from this. And that's as well as the slide decks. The slide decks will all be shared as well. So without any further ado, let's welcome Jamie to talk about Go Anywhere.
Thanks so much, Ishi. So thanks so much. Glad to be back. For those that are familiar or come our regulars, I will be talking about asset trackers today. So a different hat, a different product that I also represent. So I'm going to try to stop saying Go Focus Plus and really focus on Go Anywhere Plus. But similar to our Dashcam family, at Connect, we launched and are pleased to kind of release our full family of Go Anywhere asset tracking solutions. Similar to our dash cams, we have an asset tracking solution for every your need, many different use cases, and we're going to kind of walk through which are best for each. Most folks, and you guys are probably familiar better than I in terms of like asset tracking and how important it has become in your guys' fleet operations. Everyone's typically familiar with eye tags from Apple, and there's definitely a use case for that. I use it to track my elderly dad. But these Go Anywhere family solutions are more rugged, more industrial, more meant for your fleet operations. In terms of quick challenges that you guys face more and more today, I hear it every week now, more and more assets are being underutilized. You guys don't know where they are, but you're also looking for more advanced information to be able to kind of make sure you're utilizing them best, making sure that they don't get walked away, they don't get stolen, which leads to, financial losses, downtime and delays. Nothing's worse than, getting out to a job site and you're missing the jackhammer. Jim didn't put it in the truck. It's down in Florida when it should be in Georgia. Those type of things. Ran into a customer situation yesterday. They, were in the process of buying new assets. And then someone in their company mentioned, we have 400 of these assets in Florida again. And they're like, well, we need them in Georgia. Bob knew that they were in Florida, but no one else knew. So it's really, increasing that visibility, giving you guys those more insights. And we're kind of show you those insights that it's more than just where's my assets. It's how is it being utilized? Can we use it better? And a lot more information such as that. Summarizing it, our solutions really are meant to give you a cost-effective asset management solution, give you that operational efficiency and awareness, and then, that added benefit of all the Geotab expertise, that one platform, bringing it into MyG, being able to see all of your assets, vehicles, generators, all in that single pane of glass. Now to the fun part, kind of showcasing the different products and what kind of they best are used for. So this is high level, the family of our Go Anywhere asset trackers. On the left, you'll see our next gen Go Anywhere asset tracker, kind of jumping off from our original Go Anywhere with some advanced features. Best use case where this is used is where you guys are looking for a cost economical, scalable solution for mostly unpowered assets. There are some use cases where you'll want to use this for powered assets, but really this is meant for that lots of high volume assets that you are looking for that more slap and track, long battery life, simple solution that makes it easy, still gives you the insights, but those maintenance headaches that typically you guys run into. In the middle is our Geotab Go Anywhere Plus. This is kind of the Cadillac of asset tracking. This is now available in the North American market as of Connect. And this is really meant for those powered assets. You'll notice the small difference. There is that plug where you can wire this using a harness to a trailer, to a vehicle to get those more advanced insights. Using a lot of the advanced technologies that come with Geotab Go devices and dash cams, such as our curve logic. And again, being able to give you more insights, not that the engine is only running, but your yellow iron piece of equipment is actually running and making money for you using the arm and those type of things. And then last but not least is those small asset tracking solutions. We are using some marketplace partners to satisfy this use case, and we'll get kind of into more details on that. But those are really meant for those small tools that come up that, you don't need those advanced insights, but you do need to know where they are, and they are costly, even though they're smaller and cheaper. You have hundreds of them, and they are easily misplaced. So that kind of is that use case for our small asset tracking solutions. Kind of diving more into kind of, the challenges that you guys face, and again, why you need some additional or different asset tracking solutions than for different use cases. That's why we're offering this family of solutions. Some you just need to know, hey, this is where it is. You just need simple data and simple asset tracking capabilities. But again, others for like trailers, more expensive equipment that you want to make sure that you are utilizing it to the most capacity and the most efficiently. That's where you might need different reporting cases. You might need additional information such as Habometer readings from your trailers and such as that. So again, the reason for the offering of a family solution is really to cater to your wide range of use cases, all in the single platform, all using the expertise of Geotab and the ecosystem. Diving into the Go Anywhere Plus specifically, again, this is our Cadillac use, really meant for those use cases where you want to plug it in. It is a hybrid solution. It does have a battery, but the ability to plug it into those trailers to get those advanced insights is really the main use case for it. It does offer additional capabilities, such as connectivity anywhere, so utilizing satellite. So when you're in those remote locations where you don't have great cell service, this allows you to be able to kind of, again, make sure you know where your assets are, no matter the cell service. Low maintenance, again, all of our asset trackers are really meant to be simple, low maintenance on your terms, in terms of it makes it easy for you. You put it on your asset and you're getting the information that you need. Deeper insights, that's where I keep on going back to when you do plug in these Go Anywhere Plus. In a situation as a trailer, this allows you to get additional insights, engine running hours, Habometer readings for trailers, and things like that. And last but not least, to make this Cadillac and why this is kind of, that high-end solution, it does offer, will be coming soon in terms of FIPS and FedRAMP certification. So stay tuned on timing for that, but another feature coming with Go Anywhere Plus. I do want to reiterate, Go Anywhere Plus is available now in North America, general availability, and will be coming to other regions here shortly. think I've covered a lot of these, but do want to double down. IP67, 69, so great for outdoors, heavy duty, harsh environments. Talked about the always connected anywhere. It does require different carrier satellite services to offer that DTC, and those will be expanded as we continue to launch these products. So definitely do make sure that this is offered via your carrier and what have you. As I kind of want to mention, that the main use case, the main benefit, the main thing you guys want to use this Go Anywhere Plus is really it's more than just location. You're able to monitor ignition, engine hours, and those hubometer for trailers that I keep on coming back to. Cannot miss our built to last, the Geotab warranty backed on by all our great testing. This offers 3 to 5 year life in terms of battery and does offer the standard Geotab warranty. And last but not least, again, all through that single pane of glass using MyG, the user interface, APIs, our SDK that you guys are familiar with, the Geotab ecosystem. There are some different offerings in terms of battery-powered modes for the Go Focus Plus. I'll let you guys dive into these, but again, it just goes to that overall theme of we match our solution to match all those use cases that you guys run into on a day-to-day basis. Next up, our next gen Go Anywhere. So this is coming soon. This will be available late Q2, early Q3. Again, mostly for the North American region, EMEA, APAC, LATAM regions to follow very shortly. This is, again, the more economical, scalable. You don't need those risks, still providing rich insights, but not those rich insights that plugging in via the trailer offers you. This is kind of the main feature or differentiator between the Plus. Again, this is really low cost maintenance, total cost of ownership. You put this on your asset and you're going to know that it's out there and providing you the insights for nearly 10 years. Really long battery life. Again, same type of ruggedness, IP69 rated, all that good stuff. Think I'm covered here. Again, IP67, IP69. Same thing, whether you use Go Anywhere Plus, small asset tracking, you're still going to be able to see it on that one screen using our maps, using our trips history, just all the ability to kind of cater to your different assets and different needs. Moving to the last piece, the last member of the family of Geotab asset tracking is our small asset tracking. Little differences. We've covered this up front, but these are the smaller tools that tend to walk away. You have more of them. They're easily forgotten, whether they actually stolen or if they're just left back at the shop because Jim forgot to throw his jackhammer for the day. So again, kind of same things, but just smaller or more volume assets. Still very costly if they walk away and can add up quickly. Just kind of a little bit about how this works. So this, again, is serviced through our marketplace partners today. We are leveraging both Link Labs and ELA. They do offer a wide range of asset tracking solutions, different, and I'll show you here, but more of the tags and beacons that you guys are familiar with. And again, all through the same platforms, we use very similar to the Go Anywhere and Go Anywhere Plus, just different use cases or different assets that you want to put them on. Definitely more cheap or not giving you those rich insights that Go Anywhere does, but still very important and a solution for your guys' needs. One quick feature I do want to call out with this that differentiates from the Go Anywhere, the small asset tracking solution. So these do offer asset separation alerts. So when you are tying, the jackhammer to this truck or this jackhammer to this generator, it will send you guys alert via email or via MyG, letting you guys know, similar to the Apple iTag, that, hey, this is no longer tied to your main asset. So a very cool feature and very important for these type of use cases. And last but not least, one other differentiator between Geotab and kind of how this all works. So it does require, those beacons do require a gateway to be able to ping off it and to send that information back to the cloud or back to your operations. The great news, leveraging Geotab and our wide ecosystem of products and hardware, all these products here will be acting as gateways as they come live and as they are launched. So, using that leverage of all those devices, all those existing customers, again, is going to make this more reliable solution. Make sure your pings and your beacons are getting that information back to operations quickly and efficiently. So with that, I think I've covered all my slides. I think I've stayed with under the time limit, and we'll take some questions.
All right, that was awesome. You went quick and you were thorough. That was great, Jamie. So we did have quite a few questions. A lot of them were answered in the chat, but I had an interesting one from Josh. He was wondering how the in-building penetration on this gen of Go Anywhere devices, when you've got your asset tracker in a steel building, something like that, is this improved or?
There's definitely improvement in terms of GPS accuracy, but these are meant to really be used outdoors and do need that clear signal to GPS. The satellite will help. We have made some improvements, but we definitely encourage that the main use case for these asset trackers they do need clear line of sight. Like if they are in a car, I'm using my Alpha in the car. It does work. It will give you GPS. But every now and then you do want it to make sure. And if you're looking for those rich insights, again, I think the main takeaway is we definitely recommend these are used outdoors and have clear sight.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And we had quite a few questions around the satellite connectivity. And I know we shared that it's, available in Rogers and Canada. Do you have any insight or, can speak to like maybe a timeline or anything for like satellite communication for these devices?
Hopefully Q3. We are working through formal timing. Stay tuned to the Road Ahead webinar. We will keep you guys up to date as we know more information and firm timing, but stay tuned. Definitely also work with your partners and your carriers. They might have a better sense as well, but definitely stay tuned. And once we have firm dates, we'll get back to you.
All right. And just one last one for you, Jamie. Will they be able to change the batteries in the devices themselves, or will they be able to open up and change the battery?
Yeah, so some of these new offerings do offer replaceable batteries. That's a perfect segue and something that I missed. With included in these decks that we will make sure to send to you guys and are available, there are these side-by-side comparisons, both on the high-level sales feature side, but also we get into the technical specs, which have replaceable batteries, battery life, and all that. So definitely make sure to check this out. There are links to all the brochures, support docs, cool promotional videos that we've built. So definitely refer to these, and they are replaceable batteries these generations.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Thanks for your time today, Jamie, and we'll see you next time. All right, we'll move right along and we'll welcome Kate onto the stage to talk about video coaching. Hey, Kate, thanks for being here with us.
Hi, thanks everyone. I'm Kate. I lead our product marketing for safety and video coaching. So I'm going to walk you through some updates that we had throughout Q1 and that are coming live very soon. So the first section is around privacy and compliance. And these are video coaching for GoFocus Plus cameras and what you get when you have a GoFocus Plus camera. So the first one is new updates to privacy setting. This is available now. And you can now blur faces and license plates on both in-cabin and road-facing cameras. The in-cabin blurs faces and passengers, and the road-facing will blur pedestrians and license plates. So this can help build driver trust as drivers become more accepting of cabin-facing cameras, as well as it's important for multinational customers, especially operating in the EU. This is what it looks like when it's enabled. You can see the blur of the license plate and the face, and then the settings in the UI. You can decide cabin and road what you'd like to blur. The next is the feature around SD card tampering. And so the GoFocus Plus camera already have industrial grade anti-tampering features. And so this just adds on to it. So it's a signal that monitors the SD card's presence, and the dash cam will now generate an event if the SD card is removed while the device is powered. So this will give managers better oversight and create a video data backup without triggering the alert. Coming soon, we're really excited about this update. It's in conjunction with Smart Driver ID and its continuous driver verification. And so Now Smart Driver ID extends beyond just the start of the trip, but the feature will perform continuous passive verification throughout the entire trip. So if a driver is swapped, the system re-identifies the new driver and then updates the attribution. This really will help close a compliance gap caused by mid-trip swaps, whether on purpose or if you do not want someone driving that shows up driving. So you're able to ensure the right person is driving the vehicle at the right time and have record of it. The next section is around data and storage control. So the first is customizable data retention settings. And so now you'll be able to refine and customize the period for dash cam footage, both on the camera itself and in the cloud, as well as the dash cam's SD card. And so you can decide what percentage of the card storage is used for recording versus long-term storage. So it just gives customers a bit greater control and flexibility over the data storage, whether that needs to meet internal data governance policies or regulatory requirements. This is what it looks like for the camera in the cloud, so you can decide how long to retain the data, both on the camera and the cloud. And then you can use this sliding partition to say, I want 20% event recording and 80% continuous recording. The next update is around a two-stage parking power model to help preserve the car battery life. And we had heard from customers the thought that perhaps the camera was draining the battery, specifically on older vehicles or in cold weather locations. And so it's a two-stage parking where at first the camera will enter a light nap mode, and then after 72 hours of continuous parking, it transitions to a deep sleep mode, which reduces power consumption by 90% to protect the vehicle battery. And then we'll get into some the coaching intelligence features that are really driven by our AI models. This is available now, brand new, illegal U-turn detection, part 1 of 3 of illegal turns that we'll be releasing. And so now the GoFocus Plus will detect and record illegal U-turns and create a safety event. And it is enabled through the video and vehicle motion data, and identifies when the vehicle executes a U-turn where it is explicitly prohibited. So giving customers more visibility into driving behaviors and creating a safer driving culture. This is coming soon. We'll be able to do speed sign detection, and speed sign detection will, as it says, capture a snapshot of the last recorded speed sign and record the location. And then if a speeding event occurs later, the system attaches the most recent detected speed sign to the speeding event. So now users can easily validate the speeding event with the last recorded speed sign snapshot to speed up manual reviews and create less driver disputes. This is what it will look like. You can see on the left, it's toggled to the speed sign setting, so you can actually see the speed sign in the road, the map of where it is, some information about the vehicle, and then you toggle to speeding and you can see the detail even further. Also coming soon is what we're calling smart rules, or escalation of repeat violations. And so this is to help streamline manager review, as well as reward or incentivize drivers to self-correct sooner. And so the system now recognizes the frequency of unsafe driving behaviors and then escalate those drivers that continue to be repeat offenders. So customers can configure what that escalation path looks like in the warning at each step. And if the warning is ignored and repeat violations occur, then it will automatically escalate to the manager. And this was created to really establish that distinction between a minor incident versus a pattern of noncompliance. So if someone, looks at their phone and they get a chime saying, put your phone down, and they self-correct and it doesn't happen again, that would not trigger an event. But if they continue to do it after multiple warnings, then it would trigger the event. And this is what subject to change on the UI, but essentially this is noted on tailgating here. And so the first warning is a chime, the second warning is a verbal alert, and then the third creates the coaching alert. And so they have multiple opportunities to self-correct before it gets escalated. Also coming soon is auto approval of coaching sessions. And so we've heard from customers that they expressed trust in our coaching session recommendations and wanted to have the ability to directly send that to drivers without reviewing each coaching session. So now users can turn this on in their settings, and the drivers will get a weekly summary of their coaching sessions to their mobile app to review. Also related to the video driver app, the driver score is coming soon directly in the mobile app, which gives drivers more visibility into their score, event rates, and historical trends, really connecting the outcomes to specific driving behaviors. It's just giving them more transparency so the metrics feel more grounded in the data and explainable. And finally, the last update is around platform expansion. And so this will be coming later in Q2, but wanted to give you all some visibility to this. We'll be enabling the full coaching workflow, this whole experience for native marketplace cameras, starting with SurfSight. So just by having a SurfSight camera, this will become natively integrated into the MyG experience and available to them, where they'll be able to have all of the great benefits of this coaching platform, like our smart sequence, the streamlined coaching walkthroughs that I had just chatted through, driver scores. It's automatically native in the MyG, so a great way to continue our deep integrations and offering customers great value. Further down the road, if we're really looking ahead, we'll have unblur, so you can unblur previous recorded footage, and then also zones will be enabled to turn on or off the AI sensors, along with other features based on the MyG zones. And that is all I have.
All right, awesome, Kate. That was great to hear about these updates to a really cool solution Geotab's come out with. I just want to touch on one of our questions that I saw come up a few times about the blurring, that the AI, like the camera, is seeing it unblurred, and then it's being blurred when it's given to you. And that's kind of like the last point that Kate made about how that'll come in the future of being able to unblur. So I just want to make sure that's clear for everybody that it's not missing anything like smoking or anything like that because of it, the video being blurred. That's being added afterwards, just to protect the identities. Just want to make that clear. I did have a question that I thought was a good one as well about the retention period capacity for the camera recordings. Like, are they going to be able to go back like, hey, can I see a video from last year or something like that? Do you know how that works?
It will depend on the settings that you establish, and Jamie, jump in if I'm missing anything, but the customizable settings allow you to get more specific on what you would like to stay in the cloud versus on the device, what you want overwritten by recording on the SD card or held to the SD card.
Yep, and in my Geotab, it should be a year in events. You should be able to get a year. So you can configure that. And let's see another one. A lot of these were answered in the chat here. Jamie and Bobby are in here answering lots of questions. They're doing great. Okay. Christian asked about the launch of the GoFocus Pro. If you had a ETA for that.
Yeah, it's actually a good question for Jamie.
Okay. You want to come on, Jamie? Answer that one real quick.
Again, we will announce it on the upcoming Road webinar, but right now we are shooting for Q3 for the Pro.
Q3, all right. You heard it from the man himself, Q3. We're shooting for Q3. All right, awesome. I think
Q3, sorry. I should have said that. We're very confident for Q3.
Okay, very confident for Q3. Awesome. Good. Thanks for the clarification. All right, awesome. Well, keep asking your questions. If you have more questions, we will follow up with answers to all these. But we will, to keep on track, we will move on to our next section, which is going to be Geotab Ace. This is going to be my favorite section. So, Sajab, welcome to the stage.
Thank you very much. Hi there, folks. Sajad here. lead product manager for Geotab Ace. I know there's probably people on the call that have heard about Geotab Ace, maybe even used it. It is sort of widely available now on all the databases as long as you have sort of the right clearances there. But yeah, let's get right to it. I just want to make sure that everyone's on the same page of what ACE is. So if you think about this question, like which driver had the most speeding rate this week and how it compares to the fleet average, just think for a moment how long it will take you to find the answer to this question. And this isn't about like different systems. It's just that your needs there's just so much variety to your needs. So that's why it's impossible to have a system that can have a dashboard, etc., that will exactly answer every single question that you have. So every customer could have different types of questions. So think about this question, how long it's going to take you. And with Geotab Ace, you can literally just go take this question and ask it and get a response. Or think about a question like this, right? Like address, you're thinking you've got a phone call of someone complaining about someone being there at a specific address. You want to go in and you want to find out, okay, like who was here or was there anyone near this address last Tuesday between 2 to 3 p.m. Finding an answer like this isn't easy. But with Geotab Ace, you can easily get answers to these kinds of questions. And that's really where the power of Ace comes into play. This is in line with a lot of the let's call it the AI revolution that's happening at the moment, right? Where you ask and you receive, right? So systems are moving towards that. When you use Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, doesn't matter. You're asking for something and you receive the answer to that directly, personalized to you, personalized to the question that you've asked. And this is what Ace is providing today and is expanding on as well. So in plain language, you can ask for what you're looking for and you will receive it. So today, Geotab Ace has two agents, has access to two agents. So you can do two things with it. One is ask data questions. So grab me this data, fetch me that data, and be able to now go through a quick demo here as well. And the second piece that it can support today is how-to questions. So how do I do this? How do I do that? Where do I find this information? Or how do I set up a zone, for example? Or how do I add a new user? So all these questions can also be answered by Geotab Ace, and it provides you with all the relevant sources for that answer as well. So these are some examples of those questions, anything from fuel trend information for a specific group or area. Ace has access to a lot of the powerful models that have been created in the background as well when it comes to our predictive safety, right? So Ace isn't doing that predictive safety, just so we're clear here, but Ace is able to retrieve the information that has been produced on the level of risk that drivers have, for example, or how they compare to benchmark. So there's a lot of things that Ace can do today, especially when it comes to data retrieval, geospatial types of questions, and it can support all of that. Now, however, having said that, it's important to understand like what Ace can't do before I go into like a quick demo here. So it can fetch you the data that you want on the supported data. So you can literally ask Ace of what kind of data do you have, right? And it can tell you. It can give you a table for that, and I'll show you in a second. You can download a CSV report. You can answer how-to questions, but there's also things that it can't do. So today, Ace can't take actions for you, right? So it can't add a user for you or write a rule for you, or set up a report or set up a scheduled emailed report, for example, build a zone. So it can't do any of those actions yet. But it will be able to do visuals, charting, and mapping soon. So if you do ask a question that involves a location, so show me all the exceptions that happened last week, and it will show you that information on a map. So mapping and charting is coming very soon. It does not have access to compliance and HOS data. I do see those as these are the types of information that are going to be added soon, hopefully. But today, it cannot answer like how many hours are left, or HOS compliance related data, or it doesn't have access to any of the video yet. Again, we are expanding the data. Today, we are getting a significant amount of questions every single week in the range of tens of thousands. Definitely give it a try and make sure you play around with it. There's nothing bad you can do, right? Like the worst case scenario, you're not going to get an answer, but there's nothing that you can break or anything. I do want to quickly show you sort of the interface here as well. So I'm going to share this tab now. So Geotab Ace, again, on the top of the page, when you do have the right clearance, everything, this little sparkle here is Geotab Ace. And once you click on it, it takes you to the interface. I've just asked a bunch of questions beforehand. Every answer sort of at the moment takes somewhere between like 20 seconds all the way to a minute, depends on the complexity of the question as well. And I've just asked a bunch of questions here just to showcase like what ACE can do. So I asked first, like, how many vehicles do I have in my fleet, and how many drove today? So okay, you have a total of 38 vehicles and 10 drove today, and it gives you a little bit of explanation here if you're interested in understanding exactly what it did, what it understood from your question, how it retrieved the response. You can click on the reasoning and you can view that. We always encourage folks to give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down depending on the answer, so that will help us understand whether or not we were able to answer your question, and that would be very helpful for our team to look into. Or I asked which vehicle had the most exceptions this week, right? Just find the vehicle that had the most exceptions. As you can see here, we do have, once we do provide the response, you can have the option here to like click on this asset and take you to the asset page for this asset. Provides you the response here. Again, a little bit of explanation. I then asked, okay, what kind of exceptions did Bluey have, right? Bluey is my vehicle. Lots of exceptions here. This is a test database. You do have the responses here available as a paginated response. So it's basically a table. You can click on the right here and you can view all of the data in the user interface itself, right? So you don't need to download the data to actually view the information. You can do that. And you can always have follow-ups, right? So you can always ask, okay, how much did Bluey drive this week, and show me the trips. So these are all the trips with all the details of those trips. Even if there's a column that you don't see here, right? Like let's say engine hours. You want to add like, okay, add engine hours or idling, for example, as a new column to this. You just follow up with it and said, add idling to the previous table, and it will do that for you. So there's a lot of flexibility that ACE can provide. Again, you have the option to view all of the data in the table here, but you do also have the option to download. So with this download button here next to the thumbs up, you can click on it and it will download the CSV file of exactly what it was able to retrieve for you. So that's another option. And again, very powerful. You can do some pretty innovative things with it. Again, as long as ACE has access to the data, which it does have access to quite a bit. You can say, okay, compare Bluey's speeding to the fleet average this week, for example. It'll find the speeding and it'll find the fleet average, and it just depends on what you're really looking for. And I'm asking, okay, which driver was assigned to Bluey during the speeding events, and it finds me as the person who was assigned to the vehicle. I do want to explain a couple of things here, just which is very important in your prompting. Names are very important when you prompt it, so you can't just use like a half of a name of a zone, for example, or half of a name of a vehicle, and then for us to be able to match that. Sometimes we can do that. We do have a fuzzy search mechanism, but if you do have zone names, asset names, rules, whatever it is, we always encourage you to use the @ sign. So when you're asking how many speeding events you have a speeding rule, you can do @ sign, and then you start typing like speeding. So this is all the rules, and I can filter here, right? So I can click on rule. These are all the rules related to speeding, right? So I can click on like the speeding new one, and then I can do another @ sign here and search for my vehicle, right? So Bluey make sure to click on the item itself to inject it into the prompt. So it might seem simple here that there's this name has been injected as like a quotation into this, but it's very important. What it's telling Ace in the back end is that it's saying that, oh, this is the bluey, that's an asset, right? And this is the speeding new, that's a rule. So it makes those things clear. Again, some of the names could be very long. Like, for example, we could have a very long zone name, for example, like this, the Walmart Supercenter, etc. And if you don't include the entire name into your prompt, there's a lower chance that Ace will be able to understand exactly what you mean, because again, the difference between what you type and what you have in your account could be different. So I always encourage our users to be able to use the @, inject these as much as you can. But again, at the end, if you aren't able to do that and you're asking for how many speeding events did Bluey have last month, if I click on this, it's a live demo. Hopefully everything goes well. But I just want to show you that we do. So I did not specify here. I did not use the @ to specify which speeding rule I'm referring to. There might be 10 different speeding rules. Bluey, in this case, I'm using Bluey. So as you can see here, this is what we call the confirmation mechanism. So with the confirmation mechanism, the reason why this popped up is that, hey, wait a second. You have more speeding rules. There's not just one speeding rule. You have multiple. Which one are you talking about? So you need to click on this, and then you need to click on the one that you're actually referring to. And in this case, if it's a light blue that you can see here, it means that it was able to detect that, and that's just an entity that it was able to detect, and there's no more blueies here. It's just one. And then you confirm it. And sometimes you don't want that, right? Sometimes we might detect something that's incorrect, right? You might detect something that, a keyword that really isn't something, and you just want to go with the original text. Just continue with the original text here, right? So you can click the original text, and I'll just include that in your, in the prompt. And then, but we always encourage you, if it's not entirely incorrect, to go with either the @ or picking one of those items from the drop down. Just before I end my part, I do want to explain this as well. Just a quick second of what's coming up, right? So soon we're going to have some really cool stuff that's coming. We're going to have smart charts. So we're going to have data visualization. So not only give you a table, but also give you a chart that will the relevant chart, right? So it could be a line graph, could be a bar chart. Ace decides that. It could be a pie chart, depending on what you're asking, and it will decide that. Visual maps. So let's say you're asking for like exceptions that happened last week for a specific driver. It will actually visualize those for a map for you as well. Some other cool stuff that's coming is task automation. So you no longer need to sort of go to the right page to set things up, but you can actually ask Ace to build a zone for you, right? So make this zone at this address, make me a zone that is circular with a radius of 10 meters. It will go and do that, right? So very powerful stuff. I'm already seeing some really cool POCs from the team. So stay tuned for those. Hopefully we're going to have some really cool functionality coming very soon. And that's it on my side.
Awesome. Thanks for giving those updates, Sajad. And I just want to say really quick, this is, I mean, it's come so far from when we originally did it. I remember, first starting off and it working sometimes, working not. I mean, if you go and try it today, this is a completely better tool than it was when it first came out. And so like, if you're thinking that right now, like, oh, I've tried it, like go try it today and go see what's like, because it is a lot different. And, we did announce that it came out of beta at Connect, but it's going to continue to get better and better and better. So I just wanted to address some of those points. Go try it out today, see how it is. But we had some questions. We had quite a few questions. I'll try to get to a couple of them. But Michael was wondering, how does it know like the how-to information? Where is it getting that from?
Great question. So the how-to questions, as you've seen, when it comes to a how-to question, it always gives you references to the information that it's presenting to you. Obviously, it's taking that information and putting it in, like personalizing it to you, right? But so it's looking at multiple pages. But these are all based on information that's available in our community. It's mostly publicly available information, so all those links work. And it gathers those, looks into all of these different sort of questions, answers that have been done before, and all the content available online, and then provides you with that answer. And then for our side, we have a router, right? So based on the question, it decides that, hey, looks like this user is looking for data. I'm going to call this data agent, or it's going to realize that, hey, like this is more of a how-to question. I'm going to call the how-to agent or the knowledge agent to be able to retrieve that information.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And one more question. So would ACE be able to help like build efficient routes? Is that something that it's capable of doing?
It can't today. In fact, it actually doesn't have access to routing information. So that's another data that it doesn't have access to. Again, these are some of the things that are coming up with the task automation piece that I was just mentioning, where it would have access to what we call operational capability. So it can actually do those things for you just by you just saying, do this for me. Right. So I think those are going to be really cool. But yeah, right now it can't take any actions, but that is coming soon.
All right. And just to address one more part of this, if ACE is giving you a wrong answer about something, is the best route just to give a thumbs down, or should we talk to ACE and tell it, hey, that was wrong, like, go look again? Because I know sometimes I do that with some AI tools. What's your advice there?
That's a really good question. So it depends on why it failed, right? So that's why it's important to look at the reasoning and look at the explanation that it gives you. So sometimes you might be asking about a visit to a specific area, right? And you might and that area, the name of that area that you've mentioned might be a zone name, or might be some kind of address that you just want to know, right? And ACE can support both. And in the reasoning, you realize that, hey, it considered it assumed it as a zone, right? So it searched your zones to find that answer, but it's not a zone. It's just a location that I want to know the answer for. So you can follow up and say, hey, that wasn't a zone that I was looking for, right? Or sometimes the rules can be the same thing, right? You can mention that, oh, you checked the rules? Well, this wasn't really a rule. But if the reason is that sometimes it's just about it doesn't have access to that data, right? So, for example, license plate information or employee numbers, those aren't available. So you might be asking the question. In a lot of cases, it is instructed to tell you that it doesn't have access to it, but in other cases, it will do its best to try to answer it. So even if you give it a license plate number, it might attempt to maybe look at the devices and device names to give you that answer. So in those cases, if the data is just not there, you're not going to be able to get an answer. But if you feel like the response is just like based on a misunderstanding, I always recommend just trying again and maybe clarifying as much as possible. And I think you get a better chance of getting a response.
Awesome, Sajad. Well, thanks for all the information. Thanks for doing the little demo with us. That was really cool to see it in action, and we'll stay tuned for what ACE is going to come out with next. Thanks. All right. And now for our last section. Thanks for hanging on. Almost every single one of you stayed on to the end. Let's welcome Mike onto the stage to talk about Geotab Vitality. Hey, Mike.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Great to be with you today. Here to talk about Geotab Vitality and how we can help you with sustained behavior change for your drivers. Just listening to that ACE presentation, I thought that was really good. Maybe something for everyone in attendance is, ask which vehicles are underperforming on safety and idling, and maybe that's where Geotab Vitality can help support you. Jumping in, one of the first things, just want to kind of set the stage for why Geotab Vitality a little bit. So one of the things we look at currently is the current state of drivers and driver behavior. And so this is just a sample of some stats to kind of set up the why. But currently in the U.S., there's estimated between 60 and 80,000 shortage of commercial drivers. And then if we specifically look at the turnover for truckload carriers, that's almost around 90%, which means fleets must replace nearly their entire driver workforce each year. And then some of the things we're going to talk to you today a little bit is about new things within Geotab Vitality around idling. And as we were kind of looking into it, one of the stats that jumped out at us is that, reducing idling by even 1 hour per day can save up to $1,500 per vehicle annually. And then for those of you who may be new to the gamification world, fleets that use telematics for driver gamification and rewards show an average 10% driver retention rates. And so, again, while Geotab Vitality is maybe new to some of you, just wanted to kind of discuss on why this is important and the impact that we can have. Going a little bit deeper, we took a look at the cost of driver turnover. And so high driver turnover and difficulty finding replacements is costing fleets substantially. And so I won't go through this slide in great detail, but really just wanted to kind of highlight all of the efforts that you folks probably experience both in a financial and a time perspective when it comes to addressing different things related to driver shortage and turnover. Just to kind of highlight some of the cost here is, estimated cost of losing a single driver is almost around $12,000. And 94% of trucking companies report difficulty in recruiting and retaining drivers. And so here to talk today about a little bit how Geotab Vitality can help you address some of these issues. But first, by continuing to set up, we're going to talk today a little about expansion of the Geotab Vitality into idling and compliance, and wanted to kind of share a little bit on why we're going into these areas. And, as it says here, we looked at the price tag of bad habits. And for those familiar with Geotab Vitality, we really work on supporting sustained behavior change at the driver level, as they are the tip of the spear, as it were, for all of the activity that flows down and into my Geotab, from a fleet manager perspective. And so if we just look at aggressive driving, speeding and rapid braking lowers fuel economy by up to 15 to 30% at highway speeds and can be as much as 10 to 40% in stop and go traffic. And so if we think about that differently, each 5 miles per hour over, 50 mile per hour limit is like paying an additional 27 cents per gallon on gas. And so when we look at the current environment and the fuel and the cost, there's lots of opportunity to focus on how we can support and reduce some of that impact. Another one is around excessive idling. So an example here is a Class 8 truck, idles about 0.8 gallons an hour, and overnight idling can waste 4,000 to 6,000 in fuel annually. And so one of the things that we looked at is 1 hour of idling equals about 25 to 30 miles of driving on wear and tear on the engine as well. So when we talk about Geotab Vitality, we talk about how can we help drivers change their behaviors for the better for themselves and for the fleets. The other piece that I'm going to talk to you about a little bit is how Geotab Vitality is supporting the compliance agenda. A lot of different figures on this screen. And for folks that deal with compliance on this call, know that the burden, both from a financial and time management aspect that this can have. And really just wanted to call out a couple things based on some of the research that the team did, is about 18% of vehicles and about 6% of drivers were placed on out of service during 2025 inspections. And the top driver out of service expectation violation in North America was for HOS, which was about 32% of all OOS violations. And then when we look at the fine perspective for non-compliance, these are just additional costs that are impacting fleets today. So about $1,500 per day for failing to complete DBIRs is some examples that we found, up to $12,000 for falsifying these records, and $15,000 for failing to repair reported defects. metrics. And again, we bring this all to say is that this was what was put into the thoughtful development of the evolution of Geotab Vitality. And so for those who don't know, just as a reintroduction, if you will, Geotab Vitality is focused on risk. And so the nature of risk is human and behavioral. And so what Geotab Vitality is a science-backed, all-in-one behavior change platform that rewards better driving. And so what we've been able to establish is fleets can improve their driver behavior in as little as 6 weeks through improving safety, fuel spend, compliance, and driver retention. And the way that we do this, and for people on the phone very familiar with Geotab, the power of leading edge telematics and behavioral science. So we brought together the power of Geotab, informed by 25 years of experience, almost 6 million vehicles, which equates to about 9 million drivers around the globe. And so we leverage the standardized risk benchmarking, which supports by vehicle type, location, and area risk, to create a scenario where we're able to score and reward drivers at a very personalized level. And then the vitality side of Geotab Vitality, they are global leaders in proven behavior change. And so helping customers around the globe for 25 years, leveraging that experience in behavioral change and gamification to inspire drivers. Currently, as most of you know, Geotab Vitality is focused on safety. And so the way that it works is drivers are given a personalized weekly safety goal. And safety performance is measured daily. And as a driver unlocks or achieves their weekly reward, it unlocks a reward for that driver. And so these small behavior nudges, gamification, and the act of rewarding these behaviors lock in behaviors and form lasting habits. But today, we wanted to kind of share some of the results of that. So we are seeing, this is a recent example, a customer of ours, that are seeing very strong results across all safety impacts of driver safety. And they achieved an ROI of about 4.5 times net of the cost of the program. So I wanted to update the group that not only is Geotab Vitality expanding, but we are seeing and providing real results to our customers. And we are additionally expanding across segments, both in the public sector and the utility space. But the reason that we wanted to really share with you guys is the very exciting introduction of the next evolution of Geotab Vitality. So we are expanding the driver enablement platform from safety to sustainability and compliance. And what this leads to is one behavioral engine, one driver experience, one measurable ROI. And to do this from a sustainability and compliance perspective, we're introducing streak-based behavioral reinforcement. And so quickly here, because I know we're up against time for everyone, is Vitality is how we are helping to reduce fleets with their idling issues. And so drivers are rewarded for staying below daily idling limits. And this way, fuel efficiency becomes a clear, visible daily challenge. Drivers receive a personalized idling target, and performance is tracked with a 30-day rolling average. And days under the target build a streak. What this does is it results in fewer idling minutes, which it results in lower fuel spend. This drives better habits without enforcement or policing. And so what we like to say is it's fuel savings driven by motivation, not mandates. The second piece is around compliance. And so we'll be launching both the idling and compliance in April. And they are focused on the compliance side, it's focused around DVIR and HOS compliance. And so similarly to idling, drivers will unlock badges and streaks by completing DVIRs and verifying the HOS logs. How it works is you'll see the calendar view here on the right. It will show DVIR completion and HOS verification. And the longest streak for each one of those will result in rewards and badges. And so the drivers will be able to complete DVIRs directly from the calendar and verify their HOS logs. Again, the behavior we're driving here and the result is fewer violations, fewer fines, less admin follow-up to chase your drivers. And so this is how we incentivize drivers to own compliance by design. And so compliance is driven by engagement, not escalation. And finally, as I know we're up against time, I want to remind all Geotab customers that they have access to a free pilot of Geotab Vitality. And so your drivers can experience Geotab Vitality firsthand. No cost to you. All rewards are included that your drivers earn and no commitment for the pilot. Thank you.
All right, awesome. Well, hey, that's really cool to see how this program is evolving. We are at time here, and there wasn't too many questions, so we'll follow up with questions. Thank you for your time, Mike. Appreciate the presentation, and thanks for everybody for staying to the very end of the road ahead. And we will see you guys next month for another iteration of the road ahead. So keep an eye out for those emails. A lot of people ask about the recording, the presentation decks. It'll all be sent out in a follow-up email, so no worries. We've got you. It'll all be shared. And just, thanks for being here with us live today. And I'll see you around the community. I'll see you around. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.